Simple pendulum.
Simple pendulum. Okay. Now let's start with the extension of that. Okay. So we have discussed the terms related with simple pendulum. Yes. Yes or no, class?
Yes, sir.
We have discussed the terms which is related with simple pendulum. Chalo, so we'll continue
Yes.
with that only. Okay. Look at the terms and then we will continue with the relation. Here, Mahesh, please change your name in a proper order. Then we have Sejal, sorry, not Sejal, I'm so sorry. Srishti Kasa. Srishti, please change your name in the proper format, beta. Yash Karya, please change your name. Aryan, Aryan, please change your name in a proper format. Okay, please do it quickly. Okay, now we will look at what is the, let's quickly recollect what was the definition. Let's recollect the definition of time period and frequency. Okay, so we know what is time period. Time period is nothing but the time taken by the pendulum to complete
One oscillation.
one oscillation. Exactly. That's the definition of time period. Okay, now we'll talk about frequency, and we have written the definition. Okay, we'll talk about frequency. So, what is frequency? So, listen, beta. Frequency is nothing but the number of oscillations.
In 1 second.
Yeah, oscillations completed by the pendulum in 1 second. Okay, this is very important. Now, I want all of you to give a thought on this and say me. Okay, so we are going to form a table. We are having a table. Okay, so the table is time period. Time period is represented by the symbol capital T. Okay, and then we have frequency. Okay, so frequency is represented by the small letter small m. Okay, now class, I am going to mute you all. Okay, and I am going to ask this question. So all of you have to reply by typing. Okay, so you have to reply by typing the answers in the chat. Okay, so, so I'm going to mute you all. I have mute you all now, all of you. Now I want, so now I want all of you to type the answers. Okay, this is the way we are going to communicate. Okay, so now my time period is 1 second. How much is the time period? The time period is 1 second. Type what will be the frequency of the pendulum. Time period is 1 second. Write the frequency. I have received 2 responses, 3 responses. All 3 of them are correct. Soham, Monish, Avni. Yes, your answer is right. Okay. I'm waiting for more responses, but yes, very good. Krish, very good, beta. Tanushri, write down the unit. What is the unit of frequency, Tanushri? The unit of frequency is hertz, Hz, capital H and small z. What about others? Come on. I am finding there are around 30, more than 30 students. Nitya, very good, beta. Priyanka, very good. Okay, please be very active because I'm going to ask n number of questions now. Okay, so if the time period is 1 second, how much is the frequency? The frequency is 1 hertz because what is the time period? Time period is nothing but the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. And what is frequency? The number of oscillations completed by the pendulum in 1 second. So obviously, if 1 second is the time for the pendulum, the time period of the pendulum, then in 1 second, how much is the frequency? So 1 second में कितने बार वो complete करेंगे अपना oscillation? एक. How much is the frequency? 1 hertz. Clear? If the time period is 1 second, the frequency is coming out to be 1 hertz. Now, my question is, the time period is 2 seconds. Say me how much is the frequency. Type your answer. Very good, Monish. Om, your answer is wrong. Tanushri, answer is wrong. Ria, answer is wrong. Nidhi, answer is wrong. Srishti, answer is wrong. Reyansh, answer is right. Piyush, right. Sorry, Shivani, Shivan, wrong. Sanika, wrong. So whatever, Avni, whatever the number of oscillation it is completing in 1 second, that's the frequency, Avni. Okay. Krish, your answer is wrong. Mahesh, your answer is wrong. Savni, your answer is wrong. Soumya, your answer is right. Sejal, your answer is wrong. Priyanka, your answer is wrong. Soham, your answer is wrong. Avni, your answer is wrong. Tanushri, your answer is wrong. Rishi, your answer is right. Tanushri, wrong. Priyanka, wrong. Okay. I know I generally get this definition seems to be very simple, beta. Okay. No, beta, Khushi, your answer is wrong. Okay. Now pay attention. Listen to the definition again. The frequency is nothing but the number of oscillations completed by the pendulum in 1 second. 1 सेकेंड में पेंडुलम ने कितने ऑसिलेशंस कंप्लीट किए उसको हम कहते हैं फ्रीक्वेंसी. अब टाइम पीरियड कितना है बेटा? टाइम पीरियड है 2 सेकेंड. टाइम पीरियड कितना है? 2 सेकेंड. मतलब उसको 2 सेकेंड लग रहे हैं एक एक ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करने के लिए. तो 1 सेकेंड में कितना ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करेगा? सोचो. फ्रीक्वेंसी है नंबर ऑफ ऑसिलेशन इन 1 सेकेंड. तो 1 सेकंड में कितना ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करेगा? एक ऑसिलेशन करेगा क्या? नहीं. कितना करेंगे 1 सेकंड में? ओके, प्लीज थिंक ऑफ इट. इफ द टाइम पीरियड इज 2 सेकंड, मतलब उस पेंडुलम को एक ऑसिलेशन करने के लिए 2 सेकंड लगते हैं. यस, वेरी गुड सानिका. 1 सेकंड एक ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करने के लिए उसको लग रहे हैं 2 सेकंड. वेरी गुड यश. Okay, so how many oscillation it will complete in 1 second? So very good. It will complete half oscillation. So what will be the frequency? The frequency will be 1/2. That is half hertz. Obviously बेटा देखो 1 सेकंड में कितना करेगा? आधा ऑसिलेशन. और 1 सेकंड में आधा ऑसिलेशन, मतलब एक ऑसिलेशन करने कितना टाइम लग रहा है उसको? उसको 2 सेकंड लग रहे. Yes or no class? So what is the frequency? The frequency is half hertz. Clear? I hope you are getting it. Those who are understanding, type yes. Okay, chalo. Okay, 3 of them, 4 of them have given the answer. Okay. Now What I will do, I will give you one more example. Okay, now the time period is 4 seconds. How much is the time period, beta? 4 seconds. Can you say me how much is the frequency now? Think, it is taking 4 seconds to complete one oscillation. Very good, Nitya. Very good, Soham. Very good. So how much oscillations, it will complete in 1 second? Vidula, please think of it again. Krish, right. Monish, right. Nidhi, right. Purva, please think of it. Soumya, right. Tanushri, right. Khushi, please think of your answer. Avni, right. Ria, right. Very good, beta. Oh, your answer is right. So how much will be the, how much oscillation will the pendulum complete in 1 second? 1 सेकंड में कितना करेगा बेटा? देखो, फ्रीक्वेंसी का ओवरऑल मतलब होता है 1 सेकंड में कितना, 1 सेकंड में वो पेंडुलम कितने करेगा, कितने ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करेगा. ओके, सो अंडरस्टैंड, 1 सेकंड में, in 1 second the pendulum will complete 1/4 of the oscillation. How much it will complete, beta? It will complete 1/4 of the oscillation in 1 second, because overall the meaning of the frequency is the number of oscillations in 1 second. हमको सिर्फ ये सोचना है 1 सेकंड में कितना करेगा वो. अगर 4 सेकंड लग रहे तो 1 सेकंड में कितना करेगा? तो 1 सेकंड में करेगा वो 1/4, क्योंकि 1 सेकंड में 1/4, दूसरे 1 सेकंड में 1/4 मतलब हाफ, फिर तीसरे 1 सेकंड में 1/4 मतलब 3/4, और दूसरे सेकंड में 1/4 मतलब 4 सेकंड में एक ऑसिलेशन हो जाएगा. गेटिंग इट? नाउ इफ इट कंप्लीट, इफ द टाइम पीरियड इज 5 seconds, how much will be the frequency? Type. Very good, Monish. Very good, Nitya. Avni, Tanushri, Om. Yes. Now you are getting the right answers. Very good. Very good, beta. Yes. Very good. All of you are giving me right answer. Very good. So how much will be the frequency? So you will find the frequency will be 1/5 hertz. 1/5 of a hertz. Yes. Or we can say 0.2 seconds. That is also true, because it will complete one oscillation in 1 second. It will complete 0.2 oscillation. Clear? In 1 second 0.2, in next 1 second another 0.2 means 0.4. In 1 second another 0.2 means 0.6. In 1 second another 0.2 means 0.8. And in 1 second another 0.2 means overall it will take 5 seconds for the pendulum to complete. Now my question is, if the frequency, now I am asking the opposite, if the frequency is 2 hertz, how much is the time period? Say me the time period. Frequency is 2 hertz. No, no. Very good. Soumya, very good. No. Monish, wrong. Soham, wrong. Reyansh, right. Ria, wrong. Krish, wrong. Beta, I am asking the time period. Your unit should not be hertz. Your answer is wrong, Savni. Tanushri, right. Tanushri, right. Avni, wrong. Monish, wrong. Ria, right. Kushali, wrong. Minute nahi beta. Yes, think of the unit. Nitya, wrong. Very good, Soham. Raunak, wrong. Nidhi, right. See, क्या मतलब हो रहा है? If the frequency is 2 hertz, means क्या? It means 1 सेकंड में उसने कितने ऑसिलेशंस किया? 1 सेकंड में उसने 2 ऑसिलेशंस किया. प्लीज सुनो अभी, डोंट राइट. Frequency is 2 hertz means what? In 1 second the pendulum has completed 2 oscillations. तो 1 सेकंड में अगर उसने 2 ऑसिलेशन किए तो एक ऑसिलेशन करने कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको? तो उसको लगेगा आधा सेकंड. Yes or no? How much time it will take? It will take half of the second. Yes or no? Think of it. If the pendulum is completing 2 oscillations in 1 second, 1 second. 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 1 sec दैट इज द फ्रीक्वेंसी। तो एक ऑसिलेशन करने कितना टाइम लगेगा बेटा उसको? एक ऑसिलेशन करने को लगेगा उसको आधा सेकेंड। यस और नो? क्योंकि एक सेकेंड में कितने ऑसिलेशन है? दो। एक सेकेंड में दो ऑसिलेशन। तो एक ऑसिलेशन को कितना टाइम लगेगा? एक ऑसिलेशन को आधा सेकेंड और दूसरे का ऑसिलेशन को आधा सेकेंड। तो एक सेकेंड में हो गए दो ऑसिलेशन। क्लियर? नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन, if the frequency is 4 hertz, how much is the frequency? 4 hertz. Say me the time period. Very good. Very good. No beta, zero तो आंसर आ ही नहीं सकता है सौम्या। Very good ऋषि। Yes. Yes, very good. हाँ सौम्या, very good. निधि right. सृष्टि राइट, प्रियंका राइट, आर्यन राइट। तनुश्री प्लीज सोचो बेटा, डायरेक्ट आंसर्स मत लिखो। क्रिश रॉन्ग। अरे बाबा क्रिश, इट्स कंप्लीटिंग 4 ऑसिलेशन। 4 ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट कर लेता है पेंडुलम एक सेकेंड के अंदर। समझो मतलब, फ्रीक्वेंसी इज द नंबर ऑफ ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीटेड बाय द पेंडुलम इन 1 सेकेंड। तो एक सेकेंड में 4 ऑसिलेशन करता है। तो एक सेकेंड, एक ऑसिलेशन को कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको? सिर्फ एक ऑसिलेशन को? हाँ वेरी गुड, इट विल टेक 1/4 ऑफ अ सेकेंड। It will take 1/4 of a second to complete one oscillation. Very good, Krish. It will take 1/4 of a second. Why? Because एक सेकेंड में कितने ऑसिलेशन कर रहा है? एक सेकेंड में वो 4 बार ऑसिलेट कर रहा है। तो एक ऑसिलेशन करने को कितना टाइम लगेगा? एक ऑसिलेशन को उसको लगेगा 0.25 सेकेंड। क्लियर? नाउ one and the last one. If the frequency is 5 hertz, now say me what will be the time period? What will be the time period? Very good, brilliant. Now you are getting the right answer. Very good, very good. Yes, exactly. एक सेकंड में वो 5 बार ऑसिलेट कर लेता है बेटा। तो एक ऑसिलेशन को कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको? वेरी गुड, इट विल टेक 1/5 सेकेंड। हाउ मच इट विल टेक? It will take 1/5. Exactly. So this chart will help us. Please copy this chart. Please copy this chart. Okay. So now we will write down very important topic, and the topic is relation between time period and frequency. Okay. What we are finding? We are finding the relationship between time period and frequency. Now the table is there in front of you. Okay. All of you type the relation if you can. I'm going to explain, but if you can, please type the relation between time period and frequency. Go ahead. Say me, do you find any relation? Very good, Krish. What about others? Only one child has given the answer. Very good, Rishi. Ha, Nidhi, what? Very good, Soumya. Reyansh, very good. Very good, Om. Brilliant answer, beta. Riya, very good. Soumya, very good. Riyansh, all of you are giving amazing answer. Please give me the answer. I'm waiting for your answers. Nishan, very good. Very good, Krish. Very good. Very good. So what is the relation between T and F? To understand the relation between time period and frequency. So look at it. See, this is 2, so this is 1 upon 2. This is 4, this is 1 upon 4. This is 5, this is 1 upon 5. And then the frequency is 2, so time period is 1 by 2. Frequency is 4, so time period is 1 by 4. Frequency is 5, so time period is 1 by 5. They are inversely proportional to each other. Very good. So it will be T is equal to, write down, T is equal to 1 divided by F. This is the relation, or F small f is equal to 1 divided by T. They are inversely proportional. So that's why look at the unit. Unit of time period is second. And what is the unit of frequency? Unit of frequency F is equal to per second, 1 upon second. What's the unit? 1 upon second. We also call it as per second, or we call it as hertz. Okay. So this is the relation between time period and frequency. Remember this relation. This relation is something which is applicable. Understand, beta? This relation is something which is applicable, for all the relations. टाइम पीरियड और फ्रीक्वेंसी का रिलेशन ये हर जगह पर एप्लीकेबल है. whenever the object is repeating itself, whenever the object is completing its motion again and again, what we call as, if the motion is repeated, you will always find that this is the relation between the time period and the frequency. Okay, so write down, this is a very important, the relation between time period and frequency. Okay, now we will start with the next term, which is very important. Okay, we need to understand that term as well. Write down the heading of that term. So we have discussed what is the time period, what is frequency, and the relation. Now we will write down another term. So I will make a new, write down the next term, write down amplitude, and write down the maximum displacement, of the bob from its mean position, on either side. On either side is called the amplitude. Is called the amplitude of oscillation. Is called its oscillation. Okay, so we represent it, the symbol to represent oscillation. The symbol is capital A. Okay, and the unit is meters. Okay, so this is the amplitude. What is amplitude? It is nothing but it is the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position on either side is called as the amplitude. And the last one, write down effective length of a pendulum. Write down. The second one is the effective length of a pendulum. And the definition goes, it is the distance of, it is the distance from the point of oscillation. Point of oscillation, you can say that is nothing. The point of oscillation is nothing but the center of gravity of bob to the point of suspension. Okay. It is denoted by symbol L, small l, capital L, small letter, lowercase l. Okay, and unit is, since it's a length, unit is meter. So what is the effective length of a pendulum, beta? So the effective length of a pendulum is the distance from the point of oscillation, that is the center of gravity of the bob, to the point of suspension. Okay, this is the effective length of the pendulum, and it is denoted by the symbol small case L. Okay, and the unit is meter. I hope if you have copied these two definitions, say yes, so that I will show you exactly what is amplitude and what is effective length of a pendulum. If you have copied this, please type yes. Sure. So I'm going to, I will not show you this anymore. I will share another screen with you. Okay. So let me share another screen with you. This is our pendulum. Okay. Now look at this. This is the pendulum and the pendulum is oscillating. Okay. So this is the pendulum and this is how the pendulum is oscillating. Now we have to find out what is amplitude. Okay. What is the amplitude of the pendulum? Okay. So I will do it in slow motion. Okay, I will do it in slow motion and let's find out what is amplitude. So understand, amplitude is nothing but it is the maximum displacement of the pendulum from its mean position. So look at this. This is the maximum displacement on either side from the mean position. This is the maximum displacement. If you look at it, this is the maximum displacement and this is the mean position and this is another maximum displacement. So this is the maximum displacement on either side. So what is amplitude? Amplitude is nothing but it's the maximum displacement on either side from the mean position. So this distance is amplitude. Exactly. This is our distance. We can say as amplitude because this is the maximum displacement on either side. See, I will play it again. I will play it again and you will find. Yes. So what is this? This is my amplitude. This is also the amplitude from the mean position on the extreme side. So what is this arrows? I have drawn two arrows. This and you will find this length and this length will always be same. Okay. But yes, beta, yes, it is the distance between the mean position and the extreme position. Yes, beta, you can say it in this way. Very good, yes, you can say it in this way. It is the distance between mean and extreme position. So this is my mean and this is my extreme position. This distance is my amplitude. Clear, beta? All of you getting what is amplitude? Okay, it's a maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position. So it goes to extreme position. So this is our amplitude. Clear? Now we will talk about the length of the pendulum. Now, what is the length of the pendulum? So, if you look at the definition of the length of the pendulum, okay, the definition says it is the distance, okay, it is the distance from the point of suspension to the point of oscillation. And the point of oscillation is nothing but it is the center of gravity of the bob. So, what I will do, I will pause the pendulum in the middle, or I will keep it in the middle like this. Now, let's find out what is the length of the. So first of all, we need to understand the terms. So this is my point of suspension. This point arrow what I've shown here, that is what? That is my point of suspension. What is that, beta? That is the point of suspension. Because it is suspended from that very point. So that is the point of suspension. And now, what is the point of oscillation? So point of oscillation is nothing but it is the point. It is the center of gravity of the bob. The center of gravity of this bob is the point where the entire weight is acting from. So the center of gravity of the bob is this. This is the center of gravity. The center of the bob. This is the center of gravity. Okay, or we can say this is the center of gravity, or we can also say in simple words, this is nothing but this is the point of oscillation. This is the point of oscillation. Okay, now understand the length of the pendulum is from the point of suspension to the point of oscillation. And where the point of oscillation lies? It lies in the center of the box. So if I want to find out how much is the length of the pendulum, so the length of the pendulum is from this point till this point. This length, what I have drawn, is my length of the pendulum. This is the length of the pendulum. Okay, try to understand why we are so careful about this. This is the length of the pendulum, or we can also say the effective length of the pendulum. This is our effective length of the pendulum, or the length of the pendulum. From where? From the point of suspension to the point of oscillation. Try to understand. You may say, sir, even this can be the, see, you can also conclude, sir, this is also the length of the pendulum. No, this is not the length of the pendulum. Why? Because it is not from the center, just from the beginning. And if you can say, even this is the length of the pendulum, no. So these two are not my length of the pendulum. This is not the length of the pendulum. Even this is not the. Okay. These two are not the length of the pendulum. Okay. This is not the length of the pendulum. Even this is not the length. The length of the pendulum is from the point of suspension to the point of oscillation. And where is the point of oscillation? The center of the box. Clear, beta? All of you clear with this? If you are, then please say yes. Chalo. Now we will perform an experiment. Okay, a very important and a very useful experiment. Okay, chalo. Now all of you can write down somewhere here. You can write down the. You can actually draw, or you can make a two-column table. Okay, I want all of you to make a two-column table. I want all of you to make a two-column table. Okay, and the table is, we are having first the length of the pendulum. Okay, length of the pendulum, okay, L, and the second parameter is the time period, that is T. So we are actually finding the relation between the length of the pendulum and the time period. Clear? So this is our relation, what we are trying to figure out. Okay. Now, all of you made this? Okay, so one by one, we will write down the length of the pendulum, which we are going to discuss, which we are going to consider in our discussion. Okay, so the length which I'm going to consider is 25 centimeter. Then I'm going to consider 36 centimeter, then 49 centimeter, 64 centimeter, then 81 centimeter, and 100 centimeter. These are my different units of, these are the different length of the pendulum which I am going to observe. Okay, we are going to perform this experiment. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are going to find out the time period of it. Okay, and what is the common thing we are going to keep here? So the common thing we are going to keep here is, we are going to take our amplitude constant. Okay, and we are having a stopwatch as well to find out the time. Okay, so this is my stopwatch. This is my stopwatch. Okay, so this is my stopwatch. All of you, can you see the stopwatch? Okay, now what I will do, I will keep the length of the pendulum as 25 centimeter. Look at this. This is the parameter. You can see my mouse pointer. Here I can decide the length. So I'm going to keep the length of the pendulum as 25 centimeters. See, I'm decreasing the length of the pendulum and I'm making it 25 centimeters. This is 25 centimeters. Can you see here how much is the length of the pendulum? 25 centimeters. Now this experiment I am going to purposely perform in slow motion. Okay, because it will happen very quickly, and there is a possibility that error may creep in. So that's why I am performing it in slow motion. Now, how much is the amplitude I am going to keep for this? So I am going to keep the amplitude for all the observation as 20 degrees. Clear? How much is the Time period 20 degree. Now, before doing that, I will start the timer. Okay, this is my timer. Okay, I pause it. See, the pendulum is oscillating. Now it will go to the other extreme. No, I will start taking it. Okay, I started and I'm going to pause it the moment it comes. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Wait. I made a mistake. Wait a minute, class. Okay. Wait a minute. I pause it. This is 20 degree. I keep beta. Okay. This is 20 degree. Okay. Now I had started the timer and I will turn on the this simulation. Okay. Let's find out the time. See, it's moving. The timer has started. It's moving. It's moving to the other end, and then it will come and it will reach this end. See, how much is the time? So you will find the time taken to complete one oscillation is around 1 second. How much is the time taken? Yeah, 1.04. So we'll just take up to one decimal place only. Okay. So we'll take the readings up to one decimal place. So write down here the time for 25 oscillations. How much, sorry, when the length was 25 centimeter, how much was the time period? So the time period was 1.0 second. Right. How much? We will take the answer accurate up to one decimal. Clear class? Okay. Now the second reading. What we will do now? Okay. I reset it. I reset this as well. Now we will take the length as 36 centimeters. See. So I'm increasing the length and the length comes out to be 36. How much is the length? 36. Okay. Now I bring it here to the extreme 20 degree. Okay. So we are always going to keep the amplitude constant. How much will be our amplitude beta? Our amplitude will always be 20 degree. Okay. Look at it. Another relation we are finding. Okay. I will turn on the timer. Okay. And now I will start it. See, now we are going to find out the time for one oscillation. See, it's moving from mean to the other extreme, and from the other extreme, it will come back to the see. How much is the time? See, it's 1.19. Means I can round it. It will become 1.2 seconds. Exactly. So write down here in that in front of 1.6 centimeter, write down the time taken will be 1.2 seconds. How much is the time? So the time taken is 1.2 seconds. Clear? So for 36 centimeter, how much is the time? The time taken is 1.2 centimeter. Clear? Now the next reading I'm going to take is my length will be 49. So I'm increasing the length and the length comes out to be how much? 49. Okay. Now let's find out the time. So I started the timer. I keep it at 20 degree. This is my 20 degree and let's start. See. Now how much time it takes for completing one oscillation? See class. How much time it takes? The moment it comes here, I will stop it. See, how much is the time? 1.42. So I will keep it to one decimal place and the answer is 1.4. How much is the time period taken? How much is the time taken to complete this? So the time taken is 1.4 seconds. Okay. You find that here, my time taken to complete one oscillation is 1.4 seconds. Now, another one. How much is the length now? Now we will take the length as, we'll reset this. And how much is the length? 64. So let me take the length of the pendulum as 64. See, how much is the length of the pendulum? 64 centimeters. Okay. Then I turn on the timer. Okay. I keep it here at what degree? At 20 degree. Then I start it. Okay. The timer has started. It's moving from one position to the another position, and then it will come back to the next. And the moment it reaches over there, I will stop it. See, and how much is the time? So you'll find the time is 1.62. So I will keep it to one decimal place. Even if I round it, it comes to be 1.6. So how much is the time period now? The time period is 1.6 seconds. Clear? How much is the time period? The time period is 1.6. This is my time period for 64 centimeters. Okay, now let's do it again, but this time what will be my length? So my length will be 81 centimeters. 81 centimeters. So let me take the length as 81 centimeters. So this is the length, 81 centimeters. I start the timer. I keep it at the extreme position like this at 20 degree. Okay, and then I start it. Okay. Now the timer has started. The pendulum is moving from one extreme to the other, and then it is going to come back to the same position. Okay. And the moment it comes here, I will stop it. See how much you will find the time is 1.82. So if I round it to one decimal place, it comes out to be 1.8 seconds. Okay. So let me write down the time for 81 centimeter. It is 1.8 seconds. This is my time period for 81 centimeter. Okay. Now the last one, we will keep our pendulum. Okay. At, we will reset this as well. And let's keep the length of the pendulum as 1 meter. Okay. See, 1 meter means 100 centimeter. Okay. And I keep the amplitude of the oscillation as usual 20. Okay. And let me start. The pendulum is moving. The pendulum is moving. It's reaching to the other extreme position. And from that extreme position, it will come back and it will come to the, see, how much is the time taken? 2.03. So I will keep it to round to one decimal places. It's still 2.0. So how much is the time taken to complete one oscillation when the length is 100 centimeter? It is 2.0 seconds. Okay. So class, now this table gives us some very important information. Look at this table. This is our table which is giving us all very important information about the length of the pendulum and the time period. Okay, so what you find if you see the length of the pendulum, okay, please draw this table. Okay, so what we observe, beta, we observe a very good relationship between the length of the pendulum and the time period. Okay, so this is our table. Okay, the length of the pendulum and the time period. Okay, so you find that the length of the pendulum as I am increasing 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. As I am increasing the length of the pendulum, what is happening to the time period? So the time period is also increasing. So can you say me, class? I am waiting for this answer. Some of you have typed it as well. Yes. Can you say me the relation? Yes. Can you say me the relation between L and T? Yes. Tanushri has said more the length, more the time period. Nidhi has said, sir, How come their exact 0.8? That is what we are observing. This is what we have observed. When you will perform this experiment in lab na beta Nidhi, you will come to know this will be your reading. Okay, so this is what we have observed. But I want all of you to give me the relation between the length and the time period. What is the relation between them? Tanushri has given one relation. I want others to give your opinion. Quickly. Sir, more is the length, more is the time period. Okay. Can you give me some more relations? Some. Acha. Avni saying the time period increases by 0.2 second. Okay. As the length increases, the time period also increases. Vidula said the same. Direct relationship. Krish has said direct relationship. Okay. Length of the time period, length and the time period are directly proportional. That's what Somya is saying. Swam is saying, I'm sorry. Swam is saying, more the time period, increase the frequency. Achha. Length is directly proportional to time. Okay, okay. Sir, achha. Okay, I'm getting your answers. Now, I want to emphasize on one word. Both are dependent on each other. Very good, beta. Lesser the length, lesser the time. Very good. But I want all of you to focus on this very important word, which some of you have given, and they have said, sir, let me read the answer. Length is directly proportional to time. What is the relation? Length is directly proportional to time. This is what. Acha, how many of you agree that length is directly proportional to time? As the length is increasing, the time is increasing. Just say me yes or no. Just say me this. How many of you say yes? Just answer to this question. No other thing. Just say me yes or say no if you disagree. Okay. All of you, all of you say yes. Okay. Come on, come on. There are so many students, but at least you can do the opinion as yes and no. That's the minimum thing you can do. There are 30 students in the class right now. Please, please, quickly. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay. Rishi is saying no. Okay. Only Rishi has said no till now. That's all of them are saying yes. Come on now. What about others? Hardly 10 to 12 students have said. Krish is also saying no. Okay. Swam is saying no. Okay. So now, Rishi, why no beta? Can you type your answer? Why no? Why you said no? Because if you look at the relation, I can easily see this relation that as my length is increasing, okay, as my length is increasing 25, 36, my time period is also increasing. Yes or no? So Rishi, can you type your answer? Why you said no? Or even Krish or Swam, three of you have said no. Can you say me why you have said this? Come on, say me quickly. Time is directly proportional to length. Rishi, okay. So then why you said no then? That's what time period and length. Krish and Swam, can you give your opinion? Why you said no, beta? Krish and Swam. It's Rishi, it's not time, it's time period. Okay, chalo. Krish and Swam are not responding. Okay, now try to understand. All of you say that the length is directly proportional to time. But chalo, this is wrong. This is not correct. Length is directly proportional to time. It's wrong. Okay, because now understand why they are not directly proportional. Let me emphasize to a very important meaning here. The meaning is directly proportional. Let's understand the meaning of this word directly proportional. Do you know what's the meaning of the word directly proportional? Listen, it's a very important statement what I'm saying. Directly proportional means that if it is increasing, see, direct, it is increasing, no problem with that increasing parameter. but understand when something is directly proportional. Something is directly proportional only if it increases in equal proportion. Try to understand. We say it is directly proportional only if it increases in equal proportion. Let's look at this part. See, 25 has become 100. Yes or no? Let's look at the length. 25 has become 100. Means the length has increased by how many times? So you will find the length has increased by, if I use, you will come to know that length has increased by 4 times. Yes or no? 25 fours are 100. So the length has increased by 4 times. Yes or no, bachcha log? Please type yes if you agree with me. See, 25 has become 100. So the length of this has been increased by 4 times. Okay. Now let's look at the time period. Look at the time period. It has become 1 into 1 has become 2. So you still find that it has increased, but 1 has become 2, means you will find that the time period has increased by 2 times. The time period has increased by 2 times. Exactly. So if you check this data very carefully, you will come to know that the length has increased by 4 times, but the time period has not increased by 4 times. So that's why I said they are not directly proportional, because for this to be directly proportional, what we have to do, we have to see that if this is increasing by 4 times, even my time period has to increase by 4 times. But we observe that our time period is not increasing by 4 times, though our length is increasing by 4 times. Clear? All of you understanding this beta? You will find that the time period is increasing by 2 times, whereas the length is increasing by 4 times. So that's why time period and length are not directly proportional, because for something to be directly proportional, it has to increase as well as increase in equal proportion. Here, though they are increasing, but they are not increasing in equal proportion. So what I am going to do, okay, see here what I am doing a class. I am taking the square of time period. What I am doing, I am taking the square of time period. So I will do one thing. I will use, I am going to find the square of t. टाइम पीरियड का स्क्वायर करता हूं ओके चलो जरा देखते हैं we will find the square of t okay quickly say me all of you start typing and say me what will be the square of 1 square will be 1 can you say me what will be the square of 1.2 1.44 very good can you say me the square of 1.4 1.4 1.69 very good what's the square of 1.6 what's the square of 1.6 2.76 2.56 I think please check it what's the square of 1.6 2.56 what's the square of 1.8 what's the square of 1.8 3.24 and what's the square of 2 the square of 2 is 4 clear now look at this now here you find that your length is increasing by 4 times and look at your t square look at the t square has t square increased by 4 times t square if you look at t square the initial value is 1 and the final value is 4 so what you find that your t square is increasing by 4 times so what we say this is the relation what we have that length is directly proportional write down length is directly proportional to the square of the time This is our relation. What is the relation, beta? The relation is length is directly proportional to the square of the time. Means mathematically, if I want to write it, I will write L is directly proportional to t square. Let me write it because I cannot draw these symbols. So L is directly proportional. This is a sign we use for directly proportional, and L is directly proportional to t square. Write down. This is the relation between the time period of a simple pendulum. This is the relation. Length is directly proportional to the square. Understand? It is directly proportional to the square of the time. Clear? All of you getting it? Even you can do one more thing. Beta, take the root of, okay, let's do this. Okay, let's take the root of 5, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Let's take the root of it. Listen to me carefully. We will take the root of length, under root of length. So what will be the length of, what will be the root of, okay, wait a minute. Huh? Oh, sorry. Now, what I'm going to take the root of length. Okay, let me take the root of 25. What's the root of 25? 5. What's the root of 36? 6. What's the root of 49? 7. What's the root of 64? 8. What's the root of 81? 9. And what's the root of 100? 10. Clear? Yes. So now look at the relation between the L, root of L and T. Look at the relation between root of L and T. So this 5 becomes 10. Yes or no? So 5 becomes 10. Means 5 has become double. 5 का क्या हो गया बेटा? 10 हो गया. मतलब it has increased by 2 times. और 1 का क्या हो गया? 2 हो गया. मतलब ये भी क्या हो गया? Double हो गया. So we have one more relation, and that relation is L. The root of L is directly proportional to T. This relation. See, root of L. So I have to take the root of L. Root of L is directly proportional to T. Write down. These are the two relations what they are having. Which are the two relations? That L is directly proportional to T square, and L is directly, sorry, root of L is directly proportional to T. Getting it, beta? Root of L is directly proportional to T, and this is the relation, or L is directly proportional to T square. All of you, please say yes if you are getting it. Please say yes if you have understood this concept, beta. Okay, very good. Few of them. What about others? Please, I want all of you to reply. If you are getting it. Very good, beta. Very good. Okay, okay. Yes. So try to understand the relationship between length and time period. Okay. If you say that length is directly proportional to time period, I am sorry. This is wrong. Length is not directly proportional to time period, because for two factors to be directly proportional, it should increase in equal proportion. But here they are not increasing in equal proportion. So you find that the length is directly proportional to t square, or the under root of length is directly proportional to t. Clear, beta? Is this idea very clear about simple pendulum? Okay. Now I am okay. So it's almost 10:15. Now what I will do, all of you, listen. So I will stop this. I hope you have copied it. I hope you have copied everything on the board, especially the relation and the table. Okay. Now remember, class, I am going to upload this video on our Google Classroom. So if you find कि यार ये थोड़ा ठीक से समझा नहीं है, ठीक है, so you can watch this video on our Google Classroom and you can again understand it. Okay, and I'm going to put this on the group as well. Those who have missed this session, they can also watch this video on our Google Classroom. Is it clear? So thank you very much. You can now leave the session. I stop sharing this.